I've just had the best time ever. I'm joyous about my life. I think I've been so lucky and I'm so happy.
Yes. Oh, absolutely.
Poor Dad. Poor
You go to
Dad.
MIT, but you're reading books now.
I think he would write, but I think he would be proud of me if he sees it.
Most definitely.
He saw me in one play, which was Flowering Peach by Clifford Odets. Baruch Lumet, Sidney Lumet's father directed it in Dallas, Texas. I was a kid. I played the whore. Thank you very much. And my father came backstage and he said, "You have a voice that's made to work on one. Don't smoke." And I was already smoking at that age, 17, you know. But anyway, now I don't smoke.
Right.
And
but you do have an iconic voice, Brenda. You have a very
I can't talk in an elevator.
Sexy.
In Bergdorf's, I have to keep my mouth shut in an elevator.
Why?
Because if I say, "Are we going? Is the restaurant on the 7th floor?" Brenda Vaccaro.
Right.
No, guess what? No, and then goes, "Stop it." And I go, "Okay." So yeah, it's well known.
Yeah.
Which is my mother's voice. She was so great. When she was a kid, she wanted to be a comedian. She wanted to be an actress. So there was a musical. This has to be in the late 20s, for God's sake. She was a kid. She went into audition for a musical. And so the guy was in the, you know how it used to be the piano in the pit with the guy with the cigar playing the piano. And there was a famous song that everybody was singing in those days. My mother used to do it. I would laugh hysterically. And so all of a sudden he says, "I'm sorry, we're not hiring baritones today." So she had a beautiful voice. And Anne Bancroft too. Anne Bancroft looked at me and said, "Don't take my voice." I said, "It's already gone." But Annie had that kind of a voice, you know.
Yes. Kathleen Turner also.
Yeah, that's right. That's another one.
It's a sexy sound. It really is.
Yeah. It served me well.
Yes. So I just want to tell the viewers how I met you. So we were both at Frankie Avalon's concert at Garden City.
Great. Wasn't he adorable?
He was amazing. 8 children. God bless them.
That dress drove me crazy. Tell him about that dress, honey. Tell him about that dress. Every time he came up on the screen, she had her dress on. He said, "There's this again." That meant she was pregnant again. I went, "Jesus Christ, couldn't she have picked a nice little other? Go to Marshall's and pick a nice dress, will you?"
Nice little cap, nice little jacket there. And then started again. Comes number 2. This is Anthony, Little Tony Blonde Boy. So this is our second Christmas. And we started again. Here comes number 3. This is our first girl, Dina. So we got boy, girl, and again. Here comes number 4. So we now have boy, girl, and what again? Here comes number 5. Joey, Dad, look, Mom, she's wearing that dress.
That was hysterical. Here comes baby number 2. Oh, here's the dress. Baby number 3. Oh, there's the dress.
It's the dress, and he was adorable. But go ahead. I don't mean to.
Yes, no, it was fun. No, it was fun. So Cousin Brucey was hosting. It was the Palisades Park reunion concert, and the Drifters were there, and Jay Spiegel and the Tokens, and of course Frankie Avalon. It was amazing. But in the beginning, Cousin Brucey announces to the audience, "We have a very special actress here in the audience," and we're all like, "Oh, I wonder who it is." And they say, "Brenda Vaccaro," and I shouted, "Oh, I love Brenda Vaccaro!" And I heard someone else say, "I love
Midnight Cowboy." That was so great. So I did Dirty Dancing. You did Midnight Cowboy. 2 great films. That's good. Thank you, Brenda. Thank you for being here today. Thank you so much. Really great. Isn't this nice?
So during intermission, I'm sitting there and I'm like, I wonder if Brenda would like, if she would take a selfie with me. So I looked down and there's like a whole line of people. You had a whole crowd around you. I loved it. You are so loved. You really are.
It's such an illuminating thing for me. I can't tell you how joyous it makes me,
Yeah.
how grateful I am. I really am. I just wish my mother was alive to see all this, and I guess Dad,
Yes.
who would have gone, okay, all right, I'm convinced,
Yes.
but thank you. That's great. Yeah. There was once a lady who passed by me in a restaurant. She said, oh, I know who you are. And I said, thank you very much. No, I know who you are. You mean my soul or my name? My spirit or my name?
Right. What do you know?
She started to laugh. And as she left, she came back. She said, hey, Brenda. And I said, yes. She said, thanks for the laughs. It was the greatest compliment. I loved it.
Yes.
It was great. So for me, it's applause. Do you
Yes.
know what I mean? I'm not offended by it. I'm shy about it sometimes because the stage where you take a bow, you're protected by the stage. Do you know what I mean? And it hides your shyness or your not your gratitude, but you know what I mean. It's more formal. So, but I've had a wonderful time, and I have loved the audiences that I've worked for, that I've given. They've always been gracious, and God, when I see plays now like Into the Woods or Michael Jackson, and audiences stand up and they applaud, and the love that comes out of an audience for a stage, it's stage performances. It's mind-boggling. I think it's one of the greatest exchanges that happens in the world today.
Right. Because you're right. You have the feedback from the audience right there.
Right there.
Right there.
Paradise Square, this one that didn't run, but it was brilliant, about the Bowery and how the blacks owned half of it and the Irish wanted it. And that duel was sort of like an operetta, And at the end, this wonderful actress stands up and sings, "Go on, burn it down." Well, the audience stood up and applauded for it seemed 5 minutes. It's quite a thing.
Right.
Quite a thing, I remember one night I was in How Now Dow Jones and I stopped the show and I didn't know what the hell to do. I mean, I was young. It was the first time. Dorothy Fields had written the lyrics, Elmer Bernstein, the music. I was like, I just stood there and Hiram Sherman was something. And I looked at him and they were still doing it. I looked at the conductor, Peter, and he didn't do anything. He was like suspended in air. We didn't realize that this was going to happen, and I just turned and said, thank you. Thank you. Well, I went backstage and George Abbott came at me like a car at 110 miles an hour. Don't you dare ever do that again. Ever do that again. You break the fourth wall. How did you not know this? Oh, I got scolded so bad. So bad. Yeah. And I didn't realize that I broke the fourth wall.
Yeah. How would you have known?
I had to learn. And I was like, oh my God, I called my mother and said, what did I do? She said, calm down.
You didn't know.
It's the way to learn, but it's all right. He taught you the lesson. He was part of what the lesson was about. Leave it alone. It's all right.
There you go. And you learned a lot.
It's one of those things that she didn't move, which is what you have to. You can't move until the audience. But the audience kept going, honey. You can't believe it. It was really unbelievable. I kept thinking, I'm going to sit. No, I'm going to sit. They didn't stop. And it was,
wow.
It was a beautiful thing to see.
That's wonderful. Yeah. What a feeling that must be.
For her, magnificent and well-deserved. Well-deserved. Yeah. She was wonderful in the show. I'm sorry that show closed. I thought it was great.
And you were also on Broadway with The Odd Couple, right? The female version?
Yeah, with my beautiful Sally Struthers, who I adore.
I love her. Yes.
Opening night, she was so sweet. She walked past me. I took over for Rita Moreno. And it was a big part. There was a lot of lines to learn there.
Yeah.
And as she passed by me, she said, "I'm so proud of you. I could just bust." And it was so nice of her to do that, because it was the first night where the cast had been doing it for so long.
Yeah.
I'm already in there, for the first night thinking, what's my next line? And she says that to me. She passed by. She's one of my greatest friends. I love her.
She's wonderful.
Oh, isn't she wonderful?
Tell her
Such
we
a
love her.
trooper.
She's got a big fan here in New York.
Yeah, you?
Yeah. I am
Yeah.
a huge fan. I met Rob Reiner. My daughters were actually in one of his films. My daughters when they were little, because I have twins.
Oh,
A lot of
great.
times they'll hire twins, because they're only allowed to work a certain amount of hours a day.
What do they look like you?
Marco.
Do they look like you?
A little. They were small. They were 11 years old, and they were in this movie with Morgan Freeman. But it was a Rob Reiner film. So I got to meet him. He was sweet. And I'm a big All in the Family fan. So grew up with All in the Family.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
right.
Odd Couple.
She was adorable. Wasn't she adorable in that? Oh my
Yes,
God.
absolutely. Yeah.
I loved working with her. I just heard from her by text.
Really?
Yeah.
Aw.
I just heard from her. I love her.
Yeah.
She's a great girl. There's some people in show business that are so worthy and so terrific to meet just as people. Yes, they're good actors, but when they're great people, that just means everything.
That's right.
And that means that's just their job. Here they are being great people,
Right.
And so there shouldn't be anything to say bad about anybody that's got a job that's doing it well. No matter what it is, they're to be honored and to be treated with respect, I think anyway. And sometimes they put down actors like, and I go, no. There's too many good ones.
Yeah.
Or good people too.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
A lot of great legends. All right, can we go back to Michael Douglas? So Michael Douglas, I guess everybody asks you this. How come you guys never got married? I know you said those were the times people didn't get married, they lived together. But how come you didn't stay together? Is that something that you want to share or?
Well, I have a clever way of sharing it. In those days, as everybody will remember, was the late 60s. Michael was a hippie. And he came from Santa Barbara, from a commune. He had hair down to here when I first met him. I called him my hippie dippy. I was 5 years older. So I didn't quite know about the commune and all this. I'd done my reading about things, but, we had a hippie wedding in Joel Dean's backyard up Laurel Canyon. And we exchanged little rings. I don't remember what they were, but I mean, remember in those days where they had the little elastic here and you'd pull it down and then an Umpierre elastic and it went down to the ground and it was like a flock velvet. I had on that dress and we had a hippie wedding. And we were together 7 years. And I guess I thought, why are we getting married? The house of finance scared me. Marriage seemed like the house of finance. People break up. I went, do I want a kid? Have you seen The Worst Person in the World, a Norwegian film?
No.
See it tonight.
Yeah. Okay.
On Apple TV. You're going to love it. The Worst Person in the World. It's when we're young, because we're ruthless, because we got nothing but time. So you put your books in some guy's, bookshelf and you move in with him. And 6 weeks later, you meet somebody else and you move out those. We're ruthless with time,
Heartbreakers.
Anyway, so she didn't want, in the movie, she doesn't want kids. She's not ready. No, I don't want to commit to a family. It's all those things I think were pounding in my head. And the pressure was kind of heavy. Like Kirk Douglas would say things like, just tell me you're trying. And it was like, yeah. But I think I just wasn't ready.
Yeah.
And I stopped the wedding.
You stopped the wedding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My mother thought it was the stupidest thing I ever did.
Aww.
She said, you're smart, but you're not shrewd, Brenda. And I went, no, 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 Mom. I know it's not time for me. It's not time
Yeah.
for me. And I didn't really think we needed it. We were so
Right.
bound and bonded that I just thought this is really going to be for his father and for all their friends and for a big party. And that's all I can remember.
Right. Right.
But it probably was a turn in the road that was the worst person in the world kind of turn in the road. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Moving on.
Yes.
And but I don't think it was. Now I see he has 2 kids and he's happily married to a beautiful woman, and his work is exquisite, and
Yes.
everything about him is as powerful and wonderful as it always was. And I love him. I bless him.
Oh,
So, yeah.
that's
But
beautiful,
at
Brenda.
that time, I think also, can I tell you the impact of the movement from Haight-Ashbury and kids on Sunset Boulevard hanging out with like roses in their hair, and you'd stop
Oh,
at a red light,
yeah.
and they'd come up, and if the window was open, they'd throw a joint in your car and say, peace.
Free love movement. Yep.
Yeah, so it was like, what do we need all this pomp and circumstances? As older, I was 5 years older than him, but I thought to
Right.
myself, we don't need a traditional marriage. We are, I turned into a hippie myself because they thought marriage was like a traditional, boring, old-fashioned thing.
Right.
Commitment was the thing.
Right.
And I thought we had it, so it wasn't a mistake because it was in the now.
Right.
Happened in the now,
Mhm.
and sometimes I sit up in bed in the morning, honey, and I say, I feel like I'm 15.
Right. I get
What did
that.
I do with those years? I choo, 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 21, 25,
Right.
20. I threw them away like they were candy bars.
That's what the young
I
does.
ate enough candy bars. I threw them away in a way. In a way I did.
Yeah.
I didn't realize the weight of what they meant and how each year you live, you have to respect and love and be joyous about,
Right.
I said, you can't lose your hope. If you lose your hope, you lose your purpose,
That's right.
and so I just didn't see the need for it. You follow what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's Norwegian, and the Norwegian actors act this much. American actors act that much. It's true.
Mm,
The Norwegians do this, and they let you do the rest. So it's a brilliant movie. It's called The Worst Person in the World, and it's like you and me when we were 20.
I have to see it. I have to see it.
It's totally flawless
Wow.
and beautiful, and it won Best Foreign Film, and she won Great Actress. She does so little. In Cannes, she won Best Actress. But that's the way my point can be made.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
I hope I haven't gone on too long with that, but anyway.
No, but it's so true. When we're young, we just want to hurry up and grow up.
Yeah.
Kind of like speed
you're
through things,
moving.
and you don't enjoy it. You don't stop to really take it in and learn.
Or to think
experiences.
about 10 years from then.
I
Who
know.
thinks about 50?
No.
How are you going to feel in 15 years from now? I don't know. I think pretty good, maybe. I don't know.
Right. Right. It's true.
We're ruthless. Youth can be, what is it? Youth is wasted on the young.
Yes.
So true.
That's right. It is so true.
But at the same time, I don't think it was a mistake. I had a lot of experiences that I wouldn't have had if I was married. I would have not met Peter Cook or Don Stroud or, Bernie
Right.
Taupin. You name him, man. I was in love all the time.
Wow, Bernie Taupin.
Yeah.
Nice.
But, look at that was my generation.
Yeah.
So, and it was wonderful to work with everybody that I got to work with. It was, very special time. We were just at that generation where there was still George C. Scott and Maureen Stapleton and Jessica Tandy, and you know what I mean?
Yes.
And Paul Newman and Joanne. They were all still there. So we were in a great generation.
Yes.
Who wanted to get married?
Great.
I had wings. I wanted to fly a lot, honey.
Right. Right.
Didn't you? What was it like for you?
Yeah. See, I kind of did the opposite, but then it
You
didn't
probably were right.
didn't work out. Well, I don't know. I look back and I'm like, I wish I would have did things differently. I got married young. I had my children. I had my first child at 19. So, I'm a grandmother now, I'm 58,
Oh, how wonderful. But see,
so
that's
God bless
wonderful
them.
too.
But
That's wonderful. I don't have any kids and I don't have any, I'm not a grandmother. And
yeah,
Blythe Danner, all she wants is to be with her grandkids.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
When you get to be a grandmother, you just want your
So
kid, your
true.
grandkids, you want them, so I don't know which road that's the best road. I think we
Right.
just take the road that we think we should take when we take it.
Right. But you've had amazing, amazing experiences and opportunities, and you've touched so many lives, Brenda. I mean,
Oh, thanks,
I
sweetie.
cried with you. I laughed with you. You touched I told you I was watching The Long Way Home the other night, and I was in the foster care system as a child, and you played that social worker. You remembered, you brought back memories of my social worker. You reminded me of her and how I
You were
felt
in the
safe
what
with her.
system?
Foster care.
Were you really?
I was when I was 2 years old. There were 5 of us. We were all taken away from my parents. It was an abusive
5.
home.
Your
5.
mother had 5 children.
Yes, she did. That's
It's
why
a hell of a woman.
she was well, and she was taking drugs at the time because I don't know how she didn't know how else to cope,
I bet, bless her heart.
Yeah,
That's really something.
yeah.
Why are some women so easily impregnated? I don't know, man. People like this.
And we were
You
one
know
right
what I
after
mean?
the other.
Oh my God.
We
5.
overlapped. We were like we were like 11 months apart. We were like one right after the other. Right.
But that's great. So what happened?
So
Why did-
watching that movie, the movie Long Way Home that you were in with Timothy Hutton,
Loved him.
I was in tears. You played the social worker, and I said, she reminds me so much of my social worker when I was that little girl. You reunited Timothy Hutton with his brother and sister. And so it was a happy ending in the airport. They were
Oh, I remember.
so you yeah. How many movies have you done?
Do you think I counted?
You don't have a tally written down somewhere?
All I know is that I was busy in California. I
Very
left
busy.
New York for a movie and I never came back for years because it was like this. And that's where the business was, you see. Now, today, that's not so. They make a lot of movies in New York, slowly but surely. And you know what Hemingway said? People are places. And
That's
that's why
right.
I'm back here because the greatest people in the world are here.
Yeah.
And somebody gave me a sign the other day. I hope you can say this. I don't know. Can you say it?
You could say it.
Oh, okay. So someone gave me a sign the other day and it says, in LA, they say, I'll give you a call. In New York, we say, fuck you.
So true.
So true. They're so honest. They're so, I mean,
It's so very, yes.
friends, the greatest people are here. I can't live in LA.
I love it here. People are like, why are you still in New York with all the crime and everything? And where am I going to go? If I go, I go to Pennsylvania, after a few days, I'm bored. I want to come back.
Right.
I'll go to Virginia and it's nice there, but I can't picture living there. I can't picture living anywhere other than New York because this is where everything is happening.
I mean, Monday night at Birdland when they have the open mic, the casting, it's a casting party. All these young kids get up and they sing or they tap dance. They play the piano, the jazz, or there's 3 of them girls, like sisters singing, and they're brilliant. Harmony is perfect. And you go, look at this talent. Oh my God. You don't have a club like that in LA. You don't have talent like this in LA.
No.
These kids know where they're going. It's really brilliant to see. And, the theater's back in my life, just going to the theater all the time, going, oh my God, I can't believe how good Into the Woods is. Did you see it?
No.
Oh my God, go.
Gotta go see it.
Oh my God, it takes.
How does it feel being in the audience watching?
I love it.
You enjoy it?
Why wouldn't I love it? It's a
Right.
it's a privileged position.
Right.
I'm joyous about it. And I sit there and it gives me a chance to cry because Stephen Sondheim's not here anymore. So we're never going to hear that music again.
Right.
That kind of music again. So, all of a sudden I feel myself, as they say in Yiddish, quelling, and also to go to see Funny Girl. And because I was in a show across the street from her and we always met at matinee and had dinner between shows, it was before we had to sleep. Now
Aw,
you got older, you had to sleep after a show to do the evening show.
right.
But I hear Barbara singing it and
Aw.
I start to cry a little bit. I hear the music and I remember. So
What was
it's
she like? What was she like back then? She funny?
she had the black hat. I remember we crossed the street. There was a Chinese restaurant. You went down the stairs. I was talking to Elliot Gould yesterday. And
Oh,
I said, remember
wow.
that little restaurant? He said, yeah. He said the name of it. I don't remember now. But what was she like? Sam, the pants are too long? Does that make sense to you?
No.
Sam, pants are too long. Remember that's a song, but she used to be like that.
Can you see that? I don't know if that's clear.
That's her and him. Oh my God.
It's
look
you
at-
and Elliot.
Oh, I thought it was Barbara.
No, that's you.
Lenses on too. Oh,
Yeah, the lighting's a little bad.
where did you get it?
I'm telling you, you have, these are all on eBay. They're selling like all of these stock photos.
That's sweet. I just talked to him on the phone. He
Well, I'll
read
send
me
it to
a
you.
poem. He
I'm gonna
read me
send
a
it to you.
poem, honey, that his son wrote. I said, Elliot, would you send it to me? You know what he said? He called me back. He said, Brenda, I'm going to write it out with my hand and send it to you. I went, that's so
Aw.
sweet. I said, I'm delighted. I don't know. It's anywhere, anything you do, any place you are, you can make the greatest friends you've ever had. But in New York, if you make a great friend here, they're there forever. It's like a rock.
I agree.
I think.
Dustin Hoffman even said in an interview that he's been to LA, he lived in LA, lived in New York. He prefers New York. Something about New York, the people.
The people. But isn't that great that Hemingway said people are places?
Yes.
It's a short thing, but you can have it in your hip, in your top pocket all the time because it's so true.
Yeah.
Great people are here. Great.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
So I want to also bring up that, you were on 2 very popular TV shows. So the generation that didn't know who you were, now they know who you are. You were on King of Queens. You played Doug's aunt.
But what the hell? I need my coffee.
Sheila? It's Aunt Sheila.
Well, it looks like her, hun.
Morning, kids. Morning, my sweet.
Hello, my dear.
Look, you gotta get going. I got another one of Doug's aunts coming in right behind you.
Oh, stop it. You're so terrible, but so cute.
Well, thanks again for giving me that extra money. I think the lobster put me right over the top.
And Joey Tribbiani's mother.
Yeah.
Ma, what are you doing here?
I came to give you this and this.
Ow, big ring.
Why did you have to fill your father's head with all that garbage about making things right? Things were fine the way they were. There's chicken in there, put it away. For God's sake, Joey, really.
I ran into Anna's daughter the other night. Anna, married to Jerry.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Still.
And Mira. And
Yes,
Mira. Ran
yes,
into her daughter.
Aw.
And she said she thought you were so good in the show, being the girlfriend of my father. And I said, oh my God, Jesus, I loved Ann Mira.
Yeah. Oh,
She
me
was
too.
so funny, wasn't she? The
Oh,
best.
yes.
The best.
Loved her. And
Yeah.
Valerie Harper, remember when she played her friend on Rhoda?
Yeah.
Valerie Harper, she was another one of my favorites.
I love Valerie Harper. I did a movie with her. She was so much fun. So much fun. We were in the ladies' room. We started laughing. We couldn't leave the ladies' room. It's just we were laughing. She'd start to open the door and we would start to laugh. I love her. She was great. I miss that lady.
Yes.
When we're young, everybody's having babies and getting married, and now everybody's dying. I don't know what to do with myself. I go, who died now in his
Oh,
sleep?
gosh.
When James Caan died, I went, in his sleep.
Aw.
He didn't even have a chance to stop it.
Oh, yeah, another
You
one of
know,
our favorites.
It's
Yeah,
so different. But anyway, memories are jewels. They're precious.
they really are. And nobody can take them from us.
No.
No.
I'm delighted to meet you this way. I hope we'll stay in touch.
Yes, I would love that.
You're like such a good lady.
Maybe I'll
good
meet you
one.
in the city. We could go see a play or something
I'd
together.
love it.
I would
I
love
would love
that.
it. I think it'd be great. We'll stay in touch
Awesome.
for sure.
Awesome.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, thank you. And yeah, let's do this again. I just
Absolutely.
wanted to ask you one more thing because I
You
know
can go ahead.
want to know. Okay. So we know Kirk Douglas was instrumental in like teaching you, don't move during a close up. You told me that, right? When you with Michael, you spent a lot of time with Frank Sinatra.
Well, I think I met him through Kirk Douglas and Ann Douglas. And I went to Palm Springs and I was in his house and the caboose he bought, that thing on the train, it's a caboose. He
Yes.
decorated and everything, and he made us all walk there after we got out from the helicopter. Those were the fancy days. And he
Wow.
showed us the caboose, and then we all watched a movie, and then the food came. So there were many, many occasions when I saw him socially, and Jilly, and he wasn't married then. And so when I did the detective movie, it was pretty joyous for me because my mother came to visit me and I brought her on the set and I saw him talk Italian to her. That blew my mind.
Oh.
I didn't know he spoke Italian. And he had this conversation with her and I'm standing back by my trailer and they're a little ahead of me. And he's talking to my mother in Italian. I thought I was going to die.
Wow.
And my mother was talking Italian. I have heard my mother not talk Italian very much, but they're going on and on.
Wow.
And after it was over, I walked over to him and he said, "Now I know where you get your beauty from." So sweet.
That's
So
beautiful.
kind. I was absolutely mad for him until he walked off the movie without doing my last scene. He was tired. He didn't want to, he thought he'd done enough. So he left the movie. Brian Hutt, who directed it, went, "Brenda, what can I do?" I went, "What?"
Oh, so they cut your scene.
Sure. Who
Oh,
was I going to do it with? Who was I going to do it with?
right. Oh,
But aside from that, he was a great gentleman. He invited me all the time to all of his shows, no matter what I was even at his last concert, last one.
wow.
And I was crazy about him. I could see why Ava Gardner loved him. I could see why women would be crazy for him, And, she wore, or maybe it was him, he wore a watch all his life that she gave him that broke. He wore it. So apparently there was a great love affair there. But was he amazing? Yes, he was. He was amazing.
There'll never be another. One and only.
One and only.
Yeah.
One and only. And I made him laugh, which was not easy during a scene. Not easy. He was calling me his name. So Mrs. Gilbert, he was Detective Gilbert. That was not, he didn't like to do more than one take. So he saw me go. And he went, and I said, "You're calling me your name." He went, and he started to laugh. "All right, cut, we'll go again." Did it a second time. I said, "Do you need a drink?" So I would make him laugh.
Love it.
"You need drugs? You need a drink? Maybe you need a hot dog or a hamburger. Should we go to Coney Island?" I said, "Go to Nathan's and get a hot dog." He started to laugh. He'd go like this to me. So I had a great experience with him. I loved him.
I don't think I ever saw Frank Sinatra laugh. I don't remember seeing him laugh.
I know it. It's true. There you go. There you go.
Right?
Well, I mean, what am I going to do? I'm in the middle of
Right.
I'm in the middle of a scene and he's calling me his name.
That's priceless.
And that's like I did Al Pacino. I was doing that, oh God, the movie with Quentin Tarantino. He had to cut us out because it was a flashback and the movie was too long. So he left the back of my head in and me saying hello and my name so that I got residuals. He's such a doll. I love that Quentin.
Oh, is that that Hollywood movie that
Yeah,
about
yeah.
Charles Manson?
Yeah, the scene was, and he called me in to do this scene. You know, Quentin called me and said, will you do this? I said, yes, of course I will. And I mean, you get treated royally. He's so dear. And so Al Pacino and I were he was going to be an agent, was in the 60s, you know, take Clint Eastwood, make him 7 movies and make him a millionaire and on his way to being a star, right?
Right.
That's the kind of agent that he was playing. And I was his wife, Mary Alice. I kept saying, Mary Alice, that's Southern. No. I said, I grew up in the South, Quentin. I think it's Southern. No, don't make it Southern. I said, okay. So anyway, the scene opens up and we walk down a hallway and say hello to the guy behind the camera who's going to show us a movie. We watch 2 movies every night. And so I go and sit down on the couch and he says, what can I get you to drink, honey? And I kind of turn and I said, well, what do you think I should have? He said, how about a mint julep?
A mint julep instead of a mint julep.
I went like,
That's funny.
honey? He said, yes. I said, a mint julep? And so Quentin starts to laugh and he says, cut. So we have to do it again. Second time. What do you think I should have? And he goes, he walks away. And as he's walking away to the bar down 2 steps, right? He said, how about a mint julep? Oh, shit. He did it again.
Did it again.
So, I mean, these are moments that you remember that are charming and memorable, to say the least, between me and him. Because he kept looking at me going, I don't know. I said, don't worry about it. I like a mint julep. That's the best drink ever.
A mint julep.
Nobody knows mint julep but you and me, Al.
I love it.
So
That's your little inside joke now.
yeah, right, isn't it? It is.
That's
But
awesome.
you can tell I've had a good time, right, honey?
You've had a fabulous
Fabulous.
career. You still do. You were in Sex in the City. I loved you. You were in 3
That
episodes,
was
right?
great. I love doing
Love
that.
you in that.
Yeah. What was that word, Skew?
Slew.
What was the name of that word?
Slew. A slew?
Slew. How did you know?
I
I
watched.
call Slew. The line is she's walking away, and I say, "Call me." No, no, call me when you feel better about it, whatever. And then I said, because there's a slew of papers to go through. Well, slew just didn't come to me easy, so I kept saying, "There's a lot of papers to get through." So many papers, and so Michael Patrick Keane kept stopping me, and he'd go slew.
He wanted that word.
Isn't that a Shakespearean word? You know, hello, my lord. There's a slew of soldiers at the drawbridge. I mean, I thought the slew was. So, you know, aside from serious work, which I believe in, there have been a lot of laughs.
Right.
And slew, it's
Slew.
not a word that comes easily to my memory. I'm sorry.
Right. Yeah, we don't use that word.
No, we don't use that
We're
word.
from Brooklyn. We don't talk like that.
I love your desk. It's charming.
Oh, it's a dresser. It's Queens, Brooklyn. It's the 5 boroughs.
It's gorgeous. It's so charming.
You
It's
can
really
see-
nice.
You got Manhattan there and Staten Island. Thank you. So this is when I see you in person, because I'll come visit you. I'd like you to sign that. Does that look familiar to you? You're on the red carpet.
No, that doesn't.
Do you remember the outfit? I know
No.
it's a little
Is that
blurry.
lavender? I'm asking Heather, do you remember it? I don't remember.
Look at your hair. I love
My
the
hair is
hair.
certainly longer, isn't it? Oh
Your
my
hair's long.
God. Who's in back of me?
Wow, you have good eyes, Brenda.
Right here, Anna. See this right now? Yeah. Maybe it's my mom.
Yeah, maybe.
Anna's saying maybe it's your mom. Yeah, she came with those. She came to
Very
those
cool.
things with me. Yeah.
Very cool. And
Yeah.
this was taken from the archives of one of those celebrity photographers,
Oh,
and they're selling it on eBay.
who was his name?
Let me see. I wrote it down. Let me see.
Okay, don't worry. Don't worry.
Nancy Barr Brandon.
No, I don't know her.
Okay. Well,
Some of them I do know. Some of them I
that's
do know.
okay. But you look real young here. This has to be like early 70s. Yeah. I don't know. Interesting.
Very.
It's like Hollywood
I'd
Walk
like
of
to
Fame.
know what's in the background. Where is the? It looks like a street.
Yeah, I think they're calling this red carpet. So if it's red carpet, it would be Grauman's Chinese Theater, right? On
Yeah.
Hollywood Boulevard. Interesting.
You know what I'm really waiting for to put my hands. I've done it in Brooklyn, but I'd like to do it at that theater. What is it? I'm still aspiring for that.
Grauman's Chinese Theater.
Yeah, that. I'd love to do that.
How do you apply for that? I mean, how does that
I don't
work?
know.
tell
That
her
would
about
be-
Somebody applies.
The Star of Hollywood. It's what's it called?
No, the Dolby Theater?
The Hollywood Walk of Fame.
Yes,
Well, people pay for that, right?
maybe. But I think also sometimes they honor you with asking you to do it.
Yeah, you should definitely have a star.
I know. I'd love to do that.
Somebody
There was
needs to
also
write.
years ago, Paul Block was my PR guy, and he was with
Mhm.
Rogers and Cowan, and there was talk of it then. I don't know, but I
I'll
mean,
write a letter. Letters
one
are
thing
very
that I
effective.
aspire- Is it?
You
Oh,
said
yeah, the
letters are very
My
effective. I
dad
will write a
said-
letter.
I know. I
You
should have
definitely
done
should
that.
have a star with your amazing career.
Yeah, but anyway, I
God
couldn't
bless
be
you.
happier, darling. All that I've had has been
Yes.
terrific. Terrific.
Well, thank you. Thank you for all those years of
Thank you.
enjoyment.
My darling,
I'm
it's been
so glad I
much fun
met you. And
talking to
Anna,
you.
I love you too, Anna. I love you both.
Anthony, thanks for doing this.
Yeah,
Thank
it was
you.
fun. It was great.
Yes.
I loved it.
Aw, I'll send you the link once it's posted. I'm gonna add a lot of you sent me some really nice photos I'm gonna add in. And
Oh, good, honey.
I'm gonna show your
I
tampon.
tried to
pictures.
send you more, but I got confused about how
That's
to do it.
okay. That's okay. No, I did good. I have good pictures. So thank you. So, okay, so for the fans, any last message you want before we close out? Anything you want to say to the fans directly?
Oh, I think keep going to the theater because I don't know, it rejuvenates everything that might have wilted a touch. It just makes you happy and you glow inside. And always go to the museums and look at the art because the art is changing. It's so brilliant, but it's like so varied. So I really believe in staying in touch with artists and looking at their work. And, I think it's also interesting to read everybody's book. Everybody's writing a book, from Angelica Houston to the guy, Mike Davis, who wrote the book about Mike, who's the director? Famous Mike. Can't think of his name. Famous. He directed, what is his name? The Graduate.
Oh.
Remember his name? Well,
I
anyway,
have to look that up.
yeah, don't worry. The point is to stay in touch. Stay in touch with things.
And what about for you? Did you come out with a book? Or do you plan on coming out with a book?
No, remember, I don't have any ass power. So to write, even though I'm pretty good at writing, I've not decided to do that. I'm better when I'm talking. Do you know what I mean? When I'm here and I'm one-on-one. I mean, to sit and write, maybe I'll do it, but right now there's just a slew of books out.
It's a slew. You got to get through the slew.
The slew is too many books.
And you
I mean,
don't
I
have
hear
to
about
physically
it.
write, Brenda. You could just talk have it
Right.
recorded and somebody will write it for you.
Sharon Glass did a
You have
book.
such an
Hers is
exciting
divine.
life.
Hers is divine.
Who was that?
And she had the best title, Sharon Glass.
Sharon Glass.
Yeah, she wrote the book. And did she say unfortunately? Unfortunately, there were a few complaints. That's the title, which I think is a brilliant.
That is a brilliant title.
And the back of the book, you know how people always praise your book? The back of it, all of them are insults. No, I like the word apparently, it's better. Apparently, there were some complaints. Honey, look at this. I'm putting it up there for you.
I love that.
She's so dear
She's
and
so
funny.
real. She
And
is
on
so
the
real.
back, look at this. Sharon finally gives me credit for saving her floundering career. It was an honor. Robert Wagner. Sharon's book is proof that you can take the girl out of Hollywood, but only to a private island off the coast of Miami. Rosie O'Donnell. Sharon and I have been close friends for forever. Her
Oh,
book reminds me that I really liked her better when she was drinking. Renee Taylor. They're all insults.
I love it.
Look, and that's clever to Sharon and I. I so admire Sharon's unrelenting courage. Imagine having the nerve to think that anyone would want to read this. Randy
It's like a
Rainbow.
roast. Remember the roast? Those were
Here's the
fun.
best, Jane Lynch. Sharon wrote a book. So I think this is a great idea. This I
I
appreciate.
love that. You
Isn't it?
definitely have to come out with a book so somebody could.
But I mean,
put-
I want to steal this title.
you could name it. I thought it was a bra. Oh,
Oh my God. So
That's
there've been, and Angelica Houston's written 2 books. Lee Grant has a historical book.
look at that.
Really, you know, so I don't know what I'd have to say.
You have a lot. Oh my gosh, you have a lot to say. You have so many
But
exciting.
all these girls have
stories.
done better than me. Done better than
I don't know.
Oh
I
God.
I would have to disagree.
Oh, sweetheart.
Aw.
Well, I'll see you soon, I hope.
Yes,
Yeah, I have
definitely.
can you send me, text me everything? Phone number, everything.
I
All
will.
right.
Yes, and I
Do
want to
you
send
live-
you. And I want to send you a little gift for being on my show.
Oh, honey, darling,
Yes.
thank you. Never. Where do you live?
I live in Staten Island. I'm born and
Oh.
raised in Brooklyn, but 20 years ago we moved over here because we couldn't afford the real estate in Brooklyn. Now
Yeah,
you
yeah.
can't afford the real estate in Staten Island. It's crazy.
You know, Anna took me all around during pandemic, and she said, "You don't know the boroughs?" I said, "Not really." I said, "I came to New York. I went to the Neighborhood Playhouse for 2 years, and then I worked a couple of jobs modeling. Blah 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 blah. Then I got theater, and for 10 years I did theater. I didn't come to Brooklyn." So she takes me around. I see Brooklyn Heights. I said, "Oh my God, oh my God." I said, "I would have bought a house here."
Oh, it's yeah,
Truman
that's all
Capote has
gentrified.
a house here, and I don't.
Beautiful. Oh wow,
Oh my God, isn't
it's
it beautiful?
beautiful.
So there
Barbara
was so
Streisand went to high school in Brooklyn. Neil
I
Diamond.
I know. And my mom and dad said, Mom said to me, "Go to Prospect Park." Why? Your father and I courted in Prospect. Courted,
Oh,
Mom? You courted, you know? She's
I
like,
love it.
so you know, there were things about Brooklyn Shore Drive, Greenwood. I wouldn't go into Greenwood. I thought, I don't want to know no cemetery. So then I finally went, the last day I said, we should go in and let's go. So
You
we
know
get out
who's
of the
in
car.
there?
Huh?
You know who's in Greenwood?
Oh,
The Wizard of Oz.
oh,
Harry
no.
Morgan.
How wonderful.
He is, he's
How
buried there.
wonderful.
Bernstein, everybody's there.
Yeah, everybody's there. I saw Leonard Bernstein's grave, and yeah.
Yes.
But I was taking trees,
Oh,
pieces of the trees that I'd never seen before. And, you know, I thought it was so beautiful. My God. I said, it's fantastic here. So when it came time to shoot the CBS segment that they did on me, you know, CBS Sunday Morning, and Ro Mocha said, would you like to shoot? I said, well, how about Greenwood?
That's a first.
I said, yeah, well, we first did it in an apartment of a friend that was up 80 floors. That was already scary. And then we went to Greenwood, which was great fun. And Mo couldn't believe we were in a cemetery. He said, are we really in Greenwood?
That's fun. I saw it. You have such a great sense of humor because you looked at that little tiny little plot and you're like, I don't ask for much, just a little,
Yes,
little tiny plot.
That's
little
right.
piece of land.
Do you know what I said to the guy that you love this, the guy that that's the manager, the president? he came, and so I put my arm through his arm. I said, "Listen, Rich, I just want to ask you something. I got 2 million in my back pocket. I just want this little plot. That's all I'm asking. And I can pay cash today. I brought it with me. What do you say? You want to make it?" He started to laugh. He said,
Oh gosh.
"What did I know? That 2 million doesn't come near what it costs in there."
It's crazy.
At
It's
least I
true.
made him laugh because he
That's
thought I was
funny.
going to ask him for water or something. He said, "I just want this little plot here. I got 2 mil. Can I give it to you now?"
I love it. I love it.
Ah, God.
Oh, that's great. My grandparents are in that cemetery.
And
I have family there. They're behind there's a plot where it's a statue of a bride because she died on her wedding night. So her
Ooh.
tombstone is a bride in Greenwood. There's a
Oh,
bride.
no.
So my grandparents are like on the hill behind her. And I never saw this with my own eyes, but when I was a little girl, my family, we would drive upstate every Sunday. And as we were passing Greenwood, my father, my mother, my sisters were like, "Do you see her? Do you see her?" And they would point in the cemetery. What are you looking at? They said, "There's a statue of a woman in a bathtub." And I never saw it. I don't know if they were pulling my leg. And I was like, "I don't see it. Where?" And then they would say, "Right there. Yeah, she got electrocuted in the bathtub." So they use that's her tombstone is a woman in a bathtub
That is his.
in
How
Greenwood.
did she get electrocuted in the bed?
I don't know. I just know
That's
she
the
died in
mystery
bed.
that remains.
Yes, exactly.
Greenwood legacy.
That's the blow dryer, like you put the blow dryer in the sink.
Oh, yeah, right.
I can't get
God
any
almighty.
information on it, and I never saw it. My family were always like, "She's right there. Don't you see her?" I was like, "Where?" So
That's great. That's
that'll be a mission we could go on. We got to find the lady in the bathtub.
right. Well, I can't tell you how glad I am I met you. I'm delighted to know you better
Me too.
today. And I hope that we can be friends and that I can see you again.
Yes,
Thank
definitely.
you. I had such a good
I-
time. I really
had-
enjoyed this.
I had a
did.
ball. I had a ball. I love talking to you. I had a ball.
Same here.
I'm so glad that I met you. And yes, we are definitely friends for life.
Okay, great.
Yes.
That's wonderful.
Well, Brenda, thank you so much for being on my show. I absolutely loved talking with you, and I love you. And we
I
have
do.
to
I
do
feel
it
the same
again.
about you. Yeah.
And so for the viewers, if they want to reach you, you're on Facebook, Brenda Vaccaro, and
Right.
you're also on Instagram, right? Official Brenda Vaccaro.
Yes.
Great. Okay.
And so I'll be delighted to hear from everybody.
You are
And
going
thank
to
you
get.
so much for today.
You are very welcome. You are going to get a slew of comments from your fans now.
All right, but the slew is at the drawbridge. The
That's
slew
right.
soldiers. I love why that word makes me laugh. I don't know.
Oh my gosh.
Anyway, I love you, darling.
All
You're
right.
the best.
Love you too. We'll talk again
Thanks.
soon. God
Okay,
bless you.
darling.
Okay. Bye.